Hello, everyone. This is Pharaoh Vincent with Nation 473. I almost said 506 because I'm still not used to this yet. Coming to you guys with an update to a piece of a video from the other day where I was talking a lot about stats and attack values, and I was thinking about trying this 50-50 thing where basically I wanted to try using half mid-range and half long-range and see how I felt about it. So I've come to a few conclusions after testing this. So I want to say that I'm glad I did the test. I mean, I want to be honest in the first minute of this video and really say I don't recommend this. I think it's a bad idea. I don't think that this worked out at all. Because really what it boiled down to was its performance. So we'll go through a couple battle reports just to kind of show this. I did a lot of winning, but these weren't very strong enemies, right? Like this particular individual who I beat, I was thinking, oh, hey, we're close to the same fleet size. We had just about the same power. I was a little bit ahead of them just because of the higher tier troops, but it wasn't anything like too catastrophic, right? They've got some T11s, right? They're T11 cannons. They had a decent amount of power. But the 513 long range attack, this is not the strongest city. And then, my fleet being what it was and having 505 long range attack, 456 mid, it worked really good for this one guy, but he wasn't that strong to begin with. And when you watch the battle, right, I did a lot more balance than normal. It feels weird to press those buttons, by the way. But as you can see, it really wasn't a close fight at any point in time. We got on top of his good troops very quickly. Just the city I would have beaten long range, whether I was, doing this 50-50 or not. Where I don't like it is in the stronger fights, right? So like this guy right here, almost 900% long range attack. I had a really good shot of beating him had I been long range with my long range stats, but I got destroyed by somebody with like almost 100k less troops, and this was the fight that broke the camel's back, so to say. And the dude's got some monstrous titans. The fact that battle bar was even when he has 256,000 troops and I'm sending 320 should tell you about how strong those are. And just in general, like, I didn't even break through his front line before I died. Anytime you're in that scenario, it's not good. It doesn't feel good. Yeah, it's just, you get destroyed. And with such less troops, I mean, this is a good one for his refrigerator. And this would have been a hard fight for me no matter what. Like, the dude's stats are on point. His titans are scary. His, at least they're decent. I wouldn't say scary, but they're at least decent. It's just, I don't know. It bothered me. I won't dwell on it too much longer. I lost another fight that was, this one I know I would have won, or at least gotten close to winning, just because their percentages are lower than mine, right? So when you look at mine, right, I'm up in the 40s and 50s, and matching him in the 30s. So like this person I would have had a much easier time with than meets the eye, right? And they're also sending a really bad fleet because they don't have enough melee. They're sending a lot of T10 shredders, which there's no point for that person's city level to even do that. You can go into the uranium mines after you have a node, hit adjust, and change to the better troop, which is the Titan infantry, right? So it's not like I came into here and attacked with these Titan infantry. I added those after the fact because they're better at defending. And since I will be in there, and if I get attacked, I will be on defense. Makes sense. So this is where we get to the conclusions portion, though. So what did I actually learn from all of this? It's threefold, right? First off, not getting your full attack value on, oh, hey, the troll hit. Not getting your full attack value on your troops is certainly something that needs to be thought about, right? The lower the attack value is, the more benefit you are getting out of your attack. I did some testing with Mother of Doom to come to that conclusion. So one of my alliance mates decided to join me in some testing. I don't even know if I still have the hits. I'll take a look here real quick. Oh yeah, that's right. Zombie day 2. Now they're there. So I did some tests, right? And what you see here and what you see there is a 20% reduction in attack. So a 20% reduction in attack with my current stats, right? And all of the troops net a total of 5% damage difference. When the test was repeated with Mitch, who, mind you, is in, here's my stats just so you can have them up here, right? 456 and 505. So when Mitch, the guy in my alliance, specifically him, so when Mitch here did the same test, at 871% long range attack, with all of his other statistical values, that 20% drop net him 2.6% damage. So in essence, between 500 and almost 900, right? Because he was at 871, so close to 900. Between those 2 points, it is half as effective. Okay, so it's a lot of numbers. We're going to come away from that. Kind of. Sorry. I've said a lot on my channel. I've said a lot in general. There's not a lot of point going up city levels because you only gain 16% stats, right? So if you're looking at, your troop card from the T10 to the T11 to the T12, each tier is about 16% stats. These are base stats. That 16% is more effective than adding 400% long range attack. Just about, right? Like, if you think about it from that perspective, if Mitch had the choice between adding, well, in this case, 20% long range attack, I guess 400% is a bit of an exaggeration, but if he had the choice between adding 20% LRA or going up a tier is going to be, 8 times more effective than actually going for the 20% long range attack. So that means that he'd have to go up 160% long range attack or hit up in the thousands before he's going to see an effectiveness that would be better or greater than just going up a tier. So it becomes a choice, right? You have to choose between, do I keep pushing my attack percentages to get statistics, right? My hit points, my attack. And I'm assuming that all of these are the same. Fair warning, it's going to be really hard for me to test all of it. For instance, I know the lower percentage things like increases attack and damage are going to always be a little bit easier to, like, it's going to be more effective. So like these may not necessarily fall within that. But I can say that, like, adding attack, defense, hit points, you are pushing against a boundary, right? You're going to be pushing against a barrier. And at some point, going up a tier will be better than just trying to go through the barrier. So, to anyone who is, C30, 700% LRA, right? And you're really just trying to still push officers and titans and stuff like that, it may not be as effective to push officers because you're not going to get as much bang for your buck out of that attack. So besides tiers and city levels, what is the next best thing is actually going to be your titans and warplane. The Warplane's a little bit of a weird asterisk because right now they're super fragile, but I imagine they'll get better over time. The reason why Titans are very good comes down to this right here. They deal raw damage. Their attack value isn't a percent, it is a number. So adding an additional level to your Titan gives you 145,000 attack, right? It's giving you 145,000 damage, right? Each one of these abilities is doing raw damage, right? See, because it's based off of your attack, right? So, in this particular instance, right, every single time you hit, you're dealing raw damage. And it's not scaling, it's not percent based, it's not, some of the abilities are percent based, but it's not like the same issue that you're running into with your troops in your troop card where you're trying to fight against that threshold. It's just pure damage. That's why in the uranium mines, when you see these really strong cities that manage to beat just titans of people, they're beating them because of their titans, literally, being able to make up the difference, right? Because you have 1,008% long-range attack versus somebody that has, 972 mid-range. This is a strong mid-range city. But he's also got tier 12 troops, right? Granted, he's still using some tier 11s, which I'm starting to not like as much. And this guy looks like he's probably a C36 at least. Given the fact that I don't see T12 shredders, let's assume they're not C37 yet. But when you see these hits and see these attacks, it really is the Titans winning the fights nowadays. And it really is that way because your attack value only scales so far. So I'm going to leave this up for just a minute while I kind of finish out that point of, Titans are really good because you don't have to fight the curve. Value is value, right? This also makes me feel a little bit different about Maria, only because it is a guaranteed number. And having some of these guaranteed numbers means that because your attack scaling fluctuates from level to level, there is going to be times where Maria is going to add more damage at that moment than the attack will. The attack will always win out over time, I think, but just in general, you're going to find some serious effect of that. So, that is kind of the main crux of this video. Again, if you're hitting the upper echelon of your city and, you're starting to win fights that, are people way above you in attack percentages, it's probably a sign that you're ready to go up a tier because you've hit the barrier for entry for those battles. Because the reason why I lost, these two fights isn't because I don't have, 800% LRA. It's because I didn't have the right skills to do so. And I don't have them because this doesn't put me in the right tier. And as well, it forces me to use units that are subpar for my city. So just fleet matters, tiers matter, and you probably should push your city levels to relevant tiers. I think C34 is an excellent breakpoint, right? Getting to C30 is great. That's the first one. Getting to C34, again, for long-range cities is another really good breakpoint. C35 if you're mid-range. Because getting to that tier 11 troop is really big. And then the next major one for long-range cities doesn't hit until C38, whereas a mid-range city will cap out at C37. So yeah, that's kind of the whole point of the video itself. As for me, all of this testing, all of this back and forth, all of this trying to figure this out has led me down two roads. One, I will now be focusing mostly on getting my fleet up, so Saki and Morgan. Because again, if you add a troop, it's already more effective. Like, there's no diminishing returns to the person who commented that, but there's no diminishing returns on fleet size. Your fleet size will always be better the bigger it is, because that troop is always going to deal damage. And then on top of that, I think that I'm going to put mid-range on pause, only because I need to get all the skills in place in order to be able to do it. I don't want to keep switching these back and forth. So I am going to hold on to the mid-range skills in case I ever change my mind later. But for now, I'm going to stick long range. It is for the betterment of my alliance. It is for the betterment of the people I play with. I would be better suited as a long range city anyways, because again, they keep your Titans alive longer. And I feel like long range cities have an advantage with all of the warplane stuff coming out, as well as with the Titans, the way they work, and all of the other, like, all of the officers and all the things right now are coming out are really helping long range cities deal with mid-range cities better. And I feel like mid-range is kind of in a weak spot right now. So in the wise words, I guess I'll say, of Kylo Ren, I know what I have to do. I just don't know if I have the strength to do it. Because really it's going to come down to hitting that button and hitting accept like that, so that I can get all this back and shuffle it back over to mid-range. Again, I will hold on to those skills so that way down the road, maybe we can have a little bit of fun with it. But I'll leave it here on this screen. So thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for your time. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you made it to the end of this video, you're one of the real ones. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.